Well, hello, Kat.
Hi, John.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't say.
John, what's wrong? What are you doing there?
Well, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about, Kat.
John, you do know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure I don't. I mean, this is our podcast, right? The My Mistake podcast, the one that we get together and we talk about mistakes. Isn't it that? Well, am I mistaken? Have I come on the wrong night?
No, you're not mistaken.
Okay.
I hope you keep this up the whole fucking episode.
Well, careful what you hope for, Kat, because it could happen.
How are you, John? Have I asked you that yet?
I don't believe you have, and I was starting to wonder if you would. I am fine, Kat. Thank you very much.
John, have you ever listened to the podcast S-Town?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not too far off, I guess.
No, pretty close, man.
Okay,
Pretty close.
I want to tell you, Kat, though, it's been years. I mean, it's not unless it's just stuck with me. I couldn't really say.
I'm saying, John, like you could do like cameos as that guy. You could be that guy. It's pretty good, pretty close.
It's my understanding that he is dead.
He's very dead.
It's possible there might be some outstanding work to be done.
There might be a market that you could fill.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you for the tip, Kat.
You're gonna have to learn a lot about like chemistry and like engineering,
gold plating. I think
gold plating, clocking, like clockworks and stuff.
Right. Yep.
Other than that, though, you're good. This is a good side hustle.
Why? Thank you. I sure hope it works out. But I think I'm done now.
Okay.
With that one, anyway. We'll see who else pops up.
Let's see what pops in.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Well, listen, we are off to a good start.
I think so. I mean, we have already provided entertainment value.
We did that. We said I think you said the name of the podcast.
I sure did.
I think we're just checking all the boxes.
Yeah. We're here in this podcast, and we talk about mistakes, and we're going to talk about some. I think.
Hey, can I maybe make a mistake? Can I take this call from my wife right now?
I think you should.
Hello. Hi. You didn't get my text. Yeah. Hey, do you want to say hi to the My Mistake audience? Oh, you weren't on speakerphone, but that's okay. Do you want? Oh, you know what? That was really cute. Though, hold on. Let's do that again.
See if you can reenact the magic.
I'll let you go.
Oh, you're not?
I'll let you go.
Oh, come on. Say hi. Just one more time.
Hi, everybody.
All right. I love you. I'll see you soon.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
She's so cute. I'm so sorry.
That's staying in.
Oh, I think so. I can't think of a reason to cut it. So
What were we doing?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
What were we saying?
We were talking. We said we were going to talk about some mistakes. I got.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know since everybody is they wait for me. Some people's favorite episodes are the episodes where I talk about my medical problems, and I don't like to disappoint that demographic of our
right.
audience. Yeah. So I don't know if I like when I change jobs from not having a job to having a job.
Right, it's a big change.
It's a big change, really big change. I changed insurance, and I went from an insurance that was quite expensive but very good, to one that is the insurance itself is very cheap, but that's because they don't pay for anything. So I'm doing that. So I had to change dermatologists.
Okay.
Kat. And I have a condition among my many conditions that I have detailed in detail on this podcast. One of them is I suffer from rosacea. because I'm a fair-skinned fella, and it happens to us sometimes.
Sure.
So I have been on like an antibiotic that they use to prevent it, and it works very well for me. But the problem is being on an antibiotic for like 6 years is not a good idea.
Right.
I mean, it's like one of those things where it works and it doesn't seem to be any problem, but really it feels wrong. It feels like it shouldn't happen.
I see.
But so I went to the dermatologist and he's like, yeah, let's try to get you off of that. And I'm like, okay. He goes, I'm going to order you this topical stuff. And there's an ingredient, Kat, in it called azelaic acid. And anybody who has like an extensive skin regime, you can get this stuff even non-prescription. It's something people use on their faces sometimes. Okay. And I found a long time ago that I can use it, but I have to use a very small amount of it, a small percentage of active ingredient. Okay. And so when he showed it to me, he said, it's going to be 15% azelaic acid. And I said, that has in the past caused me some problems. And he's like, well, let's give it a try, see if it does it again. So I don't know if you can see that I am very rosy cheeked right now because the medication that they gave me to keep my skin from getting red and painful made my skin red and painful.
Oh no, that doesn't sound right.
It's it's like those things where it's like, try this drug to make sure you don't lose your hair. One of the side effects is death.
Suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bummer, John.
Yeah.
So what are we doing about this? How are we pivoting?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try using it just on my nose because my nose is not reacting in that way. And that's where most of the problem occurs. Oh. Since I've already gone off of the medication, I kind of want to ride it out and see what happens. Because you don't want to do this more than once. Because if it's bad, it's real bad. Nobody wants to see me, and I just have to wear a mask, even for reasons other than why I normally wear a mask.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So that's a fun thing. That's trying new medications. And, oh yes, Kat. If you heard Kat gasp, it's because there's a fuzzy wombat in my office with me right now, who's very bored.
Oh, she's just looking for something to do.
Yeah, she's super bored. Polly, the dog of Ron Bunny,
it's so cute.
Yes, is being polysat here this evening.
Love it.
Yep. So if you hear tapping in the background, that's just her on the hardwood floor. Yeah. So what's going on with you, Kat? What's happening? What's the haps? What's the skinny? Spill the tea? No, nothing.
Spill the tea. There's no tea, John.
All right, fine.
No, what not much. Just hanging out, riding out the rest of my job. Counting the weeks until I'm unemployed. Not in a good way. I don't want it to be over, but it's almost over.
Right. Well, I mean, once they, it's nice that they didn't cancel the show while you were in hiatus, but
that's true. At least the writers got to say goodbye. Put
a bow on it.
Yeah. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and that sucks.
It does, but then sometimes things happen, and then those shows that didn't get wrapped up, they get another season.
That's true. That happens. That's usually pretty good when that happens. That's usually pretty good.
Yeah. I feel like on your other podcast, there's a word that you say a lot lately that we haven't said once on here. So I'm just going to make up for it right now. Tubi.
Right. What if Tubi picked up my show?
Right? That would be great.
Let's
pitch
something.
for that.
Oh my God. I would, John, if that happens, I will get a Tubi tattoo.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
I think if we tell them that, they might be down.
Yeah, they might be into that.
Seems like they got some cash to spread around.
They do, right? They're like, they're getting some stuff done.
Yeah, this is one of those. This is the segment. If you know, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nope, we're not going to explicate it at all. There we go.
No.
Nope.
It's part of the fun.
There we go. I would say the majority of our audience knows what we're talking about.
Yeah,
but probably. I have a hard time not explicating it. That's the thing. It's a problem. But okay. There's one other possible mistake that I made. I don't think it is going to be, but the truth will out, and that's that. Kat, Michelle, and I had our first well, we didn't have it. We attended our first indoor unmasked gathering in 4 years.
Okay, I didn't realize. I knew that you guys had you had a get together. You had gotten together. Is that how you said it?
Yes, we had gotten together
with some of your closest and best friends. I didn't realize it was indoors and unmasked. That information was not clear to me.
Yes, everyone involved agreed to wear a mask in public places for the week prior, and then we all tested. And so, to some people, this is like, do people still do that? And it's like, yeah, some of us, not many, but yeah. And I think like these friends of ours, like they have, like most of healthy society, have decided to go ahead and participate in society like everybody else. I just have not. And in that way, so it was a big deal that our friends loved us enough to do this, and and we had a nice time. It was very nice. Everybody tested negative, and we all hung out, and we did some karaoke, and so that was a fun time. But this is like, we have emerged slightly from our cocoon.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it sounds like you guys had a good time.
We did, and it's and I may even be traveling for my birthday back to the place of my childhood. Can't say my birthplace because that was not it. But gonna be going back to Hoosierland, I think, in June for a visit to the fam. Haven't been back there since 2018. Yeah,
that's a long time.
A minute. So,
yes, it has. All right. Well, that's exciting.
Right? It's getting on a plane again, because I thought I was going to be getting on a plane maybe for work, and then that turned out not to be a thing. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All of the horror stories that I've read over the past 3 years about flying.
Where are you hearing these stories? I don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, I don't, maybe on a podcast or something. So I'm there's a little bit of nerves about that. Just like, doors falling off of planes and people pooping the length of an entire plane.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's a list of things that could happen.
It's true. I'm very hopeful that we don't end up with any personal stories of that kind of nature. Although if I live to tell them, they're not that bad, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want you to come home with a story of, someone's pooped or, someone has to get duct taped to a chair. I don't want anything else to happen. I don't want you guys to be harmed or upset in any major way. So.
Okay. Well, make sure that you make that clear to the interventionist deity of your choice.
Okay. I'll do that later.
To whom you will pray the instructions for what's to happen. Make sure that's in there. We need those loopholes.
The specifics.
Precisely.
Well, that's exciting.
Cool. Yeah. Stuff.
Hey,
things.
Well, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, Leah, my wife, who I'm married to, we went down to San Diego to see Patty Lynn speak at a writer festival.
You lucky dog.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was great. She was signing books, and then she did like an interview panel, and we just hung out. It was really fun and great, and it was exciting to see other people excited about her book. And
right, like people we don't already know.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when we find out that somebody listens to this podcast who isn't somebody who birthed us or knows us or
it was really cool. And Leah and I both were very proud to see her in her elements and being her awesome self. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a big thing. And then we went and had dinner, and it was nice. It was a nice.
Now I'm jealous.
It was a nice day that we spent with Patty.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we had a good time. It was nice.
Very cool.
Shout out to Patty Lynn.
Patty Lynn,
author of End Credits: How I Broke Up with Hollywood.
Available wherever you get your books.
Absolutely.
An audiobook which she recorded herself,
which I love. I've listened to it. It's so good. It's always nice to hear the author read their own book, but sometimes the author isn't good at reading their own book. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much the director and the mixer can do for a person reading a book who doesn't know what they're doing. Patty's great. She nailed it, man. She's a pro.
Of course she did. It's because she's had so much practice on the My Mistake podcast.
I mean, I kind of think we should get some credit for this.
I take full credit. I have no problem. Patty, come at me. What's up?
Come at me, Patty. But also, like, in reading the book, obviously, hearing the author in their own voice, you literally hear their voice. But in reading the book, it's like, this is my friend Patty. Like, I can hear her saying these words. And then hear her actually saying them in the inflection intended and all this kind of stuff. It's like, it's such a special thing to have. So
I haven't listened to it yet. I think I will invest in that, in a copy of the audiobook as well. Just because I can't wait to hear it. It's
it's really good.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, it's great. Good stuff. So there you go.
Yep.
Shout out to Patty.
Shout. Cool. Speaking of Patty, shout. Speaking of Patty Lynn.
Yes.
Pecan pie. Speaking of Patty Lynn, she tipped us off to some content.
Oh, yes, she did.
She did. And you promised not to read it.
I
so
did
that
indeed.
I could read it and you could come in cold.
John, what voice is this that we're doing now?
It's the one that hurts my face, Kat.
It looks like it hurts.
It does, and I'm going to stop doing it now because of that reason. Yeah.
Comedy hurts, my man.
Sometimes you got to hurt your face to make it a joyful noise. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
So yeah, and there are two topics here, and they're on a theme, and it made me think that we need to do a show that is entirely themed around this, and we should. But I don't think doing these two bits right now would take away from that. So, Kat,
great.
These are lawsuits against the House of Mouse. Okay. So I'm thinking there's enough Disney material for us to do a whole episode on. In my research, I found that.
I am sure that there is.
Yeah, I mean, it could even be conceivably a segment of its own. We'll see how regularly that content drips in.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought we would start out with the most recent, and then we'll go back to one that's from last year.
Okay.
But all right, so here we go. The title of this, and it's in nerdbot.com.
Great, love that.
Woman sues Disney in alleged goofy injury lawsuit. And
okay.
I want to clarify here. It's not that the injury is goofy. It's that the injury was caused by the character of Goofy.
Right. Capital G.
Right. By the way, famously asked in Stand By Me, what the fuck is Goofy, Kat? Is Goofy a dog?
I believe that he is a dog.
Right. But Pluto's a dog, and Pluto does not stand upright and does not speak.
He doesn't.
Just barks.
Goofy is an awakened dog.
He's an evolved dog. Okay.
A wizard has awakened him. And so he is he's awakened dog. He's still dumb. He's dumb.
Right.
He's still dog-like because he's listen, dogs are dumb. Okay?
Listen, I think Polly's getting offended back there.
Polly, come here. You're dumb, Polly. You're cute, but you're dumb. So, he's an awakened dog, and Pluto, Goofy was given the choice. Like, the wizard's like, do you want me to also awaken Pluto? And you guys could be best friends, and you can wear pants together and, whatever you want to do. And Goofy's like, no, I want to be the only awakened dog in town. So
okay,
he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, he did not offer his friend the same benefit that he himself received.
Exactly.
Well, now this just makes me think Goofy's guilty to begin with.
Exactly.
But let's check out the deets here.
Okay.
In 2022, Katrina Griffin visited Disneyland only to later file a lawsuit against the resort. Griffin and her daughter were in attendance at the park on April 3rd, 2022. She alleges she sustained serious injuries when a cast member, costumed as Goofy, fell on her.
Oh, no.
Right? I mean...
Serious injuries, too. Okay.
Well, yeah, Goofy is a very tall character. You have to be, I think
That's
you have to be a
true.
6-footer to wear the Goofy head, at least.
I gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we're talking about some mass here.
Sure.
What happened is the header for this part of the column. The lawsuit alleges that as Griffin bent down to tie her daughter's shoes, a Disney employee dressed as Goofy collided with her, causing her to fall onto the concrete in Disney California Adventure. The employee reportedly landed on Griffin with his full body weight. This, Griffin claims, inflicted severe and lasting injuries that demanded extensive medical attention and caused, and by that was all quoted, and caused, quote, considerable emotional distress, end quote.
All right. I already have notes.
Okay. All right. Do you want to address them as we go?
If you
Let's
don't
do
mind.
it. No, that's the way I always do it.
So this lawsuit refers to Goofy, the person inside of Goofy, as a employee. Is that correct?
Right. They don't say a cast member.
John, that is absolutely a cast member, and that's their first strike. Okay, strike number one. And then they referred to the cast member as with pronouns of his. Like they don't. How do they know the gender identification of that cast member?
Well, it's entirely possible that there's been an investigation and that person has been identified, and that is a correct pronoun.
I guess we'll see.
We'll find out, won't we?
And also, they were in a California Adventure. That means that Goofy was dressed like 1940s dapper Goofy, just to add insult to serious injury.
Serious and lasting injury.
Right,
yeah.
continue.
Okay, I will do that. I don't need your permission, Kat.
John, you may continue.
Okay, now you're gonna love this next sentence, though, Kat.
Okay.
The lawsuit refers to the two unidentified cast members as John Doe 1 and John Doe 2.
Okay.
Griffin asserts the character handler negligently failed to avert the collision with Goofy. And people may not realize this, even if you've seen the characters at Disneyland, there will typically be a handler, and that's a cast member who's dressed in just a Disney polo, because when you wear the head, your peripheral vision is often very limited.
Sure.
So the handler will make sure that you don't do something like this, like bump into a person who is, what do we call the people at the park?
Guests, I think.
Guests,
I think
yes.
they're guests.
Not customers, they're guests.
They're guests.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the John Doe 1 and John Doe 2. I'm not sure whether John Doe 1 was the cast member playing Goofy, and John Doe 2 was the handler, or vice versa.
Okay.
Anyway, she demands a jury trial to seek compensation for medical expenses and lost earnings.
Okay.
Furthermore, Griffin is pursuing damages for negligence, arguing her injuries will lead to a degree of permanent disability.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting because even though this happened in 2022, I believe the lawsuit is more recent that it was filed. So it's possible they're not going to give us as much detail as we might like, partly because they're going to preserve that for the trial.
See. So,
But
we do not know the extent of the injuries specifically within the content of this article. Do we know what happened?
The next part is titled, "Will She Win?"
So many questions, John.
Yeah, I know, right? And under that header, it says, falls can cause broken bones like wrist, arm, ankle, and hip fractures. Falls can cause head injuries. These can be very serious, especially if the person is taking certain medicines like blood thinners. But having someone's full weight fall on top of you, then falling onto the concrete of Disney's California Adventure, while also presumably shielding your child, could bring on a whole new set. Because remember, she's tying her child's shoes when this happens.
Yes.
Yes.
It's very serious.
Yes. Especially while also presumably shielding your child, could also bring on a whole new set of problems for Griffin. Not to mention, if Goofy tripped over her, he could have easily tripped over her child. Personally, I'm just glad it wasn't my daughter and I that this happened to. Well, that's a pretty shitty person who wrote that column. It's like, I don't really give a fuck if they hurt them as long as it wasn't me.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
There, but for the grace of Goofy, go you. We're not sure if this is a winning case right out the gate, but if it leads to every face character having two handlers, it might be worth it. At least that way, one can keep an eye on surroundings while the other helps the masked character interact with other guests.
It's not
A
happening.
case management conference is scheduled for September 4th, 2024.
Cool. John, this is going to go away. Disney's going to peel off some cheese, if you will. Pardon.
Oh, yeah.
And this is gonna
Demanding
go
a
away.
jury trial for this, it's very clear they're looking for a settlement because
exactly.
Disney does not like to parade its dirty linens out.
Can you imagine Goofy sitting on the stand?
Oh, I would.
That would be great,
so
actually.
love it if the cast member, in order to maintain their anonymity.
Yeah.
Well, they said John Doe, so apparently they're both male. We're gonna
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
So in order to maintain his anonymity, it would be hilarious if they actually dressed him in the Goofy suit.
I would
But
really like that.
think about this: if they did that, it is entirely possible that person might fall in the courtroom. And oh boy, I mean, you talk about a mistrial right there. It's like, because the jury would instantly be like, yeah, that guy don't know how to do that. So
Oh
yeah,
my goodness. Well, listen, I hope that the little girl is okay. I hope that this woman is okay. I'm a little suspicious.
sure.
I'm not defending Disney. I have a very complicated relationship with Disney. But no, I mean, I don't know. I hope everybody's okay. I hope the Goofy gets to keep their job. And, it's fine if Disney's got to pay. That's fine. They have all the money, John. It's not a big deal.
Right.
But,
right.
I just hope everything's okay.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
And I mean, past experience informs me on this because normally it'd be like, yeah, right, lady. I mean, you fell over, big deal. But you remember the McDonald's hot coffee lawsuit.
Of course.
And I don't, I'm going to assume most people have heard of it, so I won't belabor it. But when we first heard about this lawsuit, it was ridiculed. The woman was ridiculed. Everybody said, oh, what a crazy, overly litigious society we have. And why would anybody sue for this? And then the truth came out that McDonald's was purposely overheating their coffee to a degree that was ridiculous.
And she was actually seriously injured.
She was seriously burned, had to have skin grafts. It's not just like,
It wasn't a joke.
Right. So when I hear this, it's like, yeah, this kind of sounds like, oh, look, somebody made a mistake and I can make a lot of money from this big money pot over here. And maybe that's true, but also maybe not. Maybe this
not.
woman,
You're right.
Maybe she had to pay a lot of doctor bills. Maybe she had to miss some work. Maybe there is something permanent that happened as a result of it.
Absolutely.
It's hard to know, but
It is.
I will tell you, it probably won't line up. I did get a jury summons for May, so it would be really hilarious if I did end up on this jury and I couldn't talk about it. But
that
so
would be
that's
something.
so that's the Goofy suit. I wanted to tell you
Goofy
though
suit.
about another lawsuit, and this comes from the arguably probably not going to be funny venue, but possibly NPR. And the title of this article is "A Woman Sues Disney World Over Severe Injuries on a Water Slide."
Okay.
Okay. Kat, have you been on a lot of water slides?
I wouldn't say a lot, John. I've been on a few, and I think the last time I was on one was I made the decision that this would be the last time I would be on a water slide because I got hurt.
Okay. There was a very intentional decision made regarding water slides. See, what's really weird for me is I started going on water slides probably when I was about I'm going to say 7 or 8 years old.
Cool.
And the water slides then, Kat, were basically made out of poured concrete.
Sure.
And you had to go down them on a mat that was basically like a yoga mat.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you're a kid and you're acting up, sometimes you would lose that mat, and then essentially you were sliding down a wet strip of sandpaper for the remainder of the ride. And I mean, I definitely lost a lot of skin on elbows, knees, ankles.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. But nothing like what we're about to hear.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. And there's a reason. It's mostly because of my anatomy, but let's go ahead and talk this out. A woman has sued Walt Disney Parks and Resorts after she says she sustained severe gynecologic injuries.
I think
on
I
a water
remember
slide.
the story when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
On a water slide at Florida's Disney World, causing her to be hospitalized.
Yeah.
According to her lawsuit, Emma McGinnis was on a family trip in October 2019 to celebrate her 30th birthday when she was hurt while riding down the Typhoon Lagoon Water Park's fastest, tallest slide.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. After descending the 214-foot slide called Humunga Kowabunga, and it makes me, I am going to have to, I haven't listened to this article because this is the beauty. The NPR website always gives you the option of listening to the audio. Yeah. And I really want to hear, I hope it's like Steve Inskeep saying, Humunga Kowabunga. I just want to hear that. Anyway, the standing water at the ride's bottom abruptly brought her to a rapid stop, forcing her swimsuit into a painful, quote, wedgie. End quote, the lawsuit says. Okay. McGinnis's injuries, I know, there are certain things, just hearing them can cause a physical reaction. This one actually didn't for me, and maybe that makes sense. I can imagine that it hurts a lot, but I don't know exactly what it feels like, and it does not cross that threshold of making things happen. Okay. She experienced immediate and severe pain internally, and as she stood up, blood began rushing from between her legs.
Christ.
Yeah.
What the fuck, John? This should not be a thing that could happen.
Agreed. I mean, water slides do not occur in nature.
Well, they kind of do.
I mean, yes, but would you just trust one? Would you just go down a waterfall thinking, yay? I mean,
probably not.
Probably not. I'm thinking no. So blood began rushing from between her legs, the complaint states, adding that McGinnis was hospitalized. Yeah. McGinnis's injuries included, quote, severe vaginal lacerations, end quote, damage to her internal organs, and a, quote,
Christ.
Oh, boy. Oh, this one's rough, Kat.
Oh, no.
And a, quote, full thickness laceration that caused her bowel to protrude through her abdominal wall, her lawsuit says.
No. This is like, she got fucked up.
Yeah.
This is fucked.
This is not a wedgie. Like, it's weird.
No.
I've read headlines, and I found, like, the one that I thought looked like the most informative just by scanning it, but I did not actually get to this part. And wow, this is a serious amount of damage that was done to her by this water slide.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Yeah. The suit, filed last week in Orange County, Florida, where the park is located, accuses Disney of negligence in neither adequately warning riders of the injury risk nor providing protective clothing, such as shorts, to riders.
Yeah.
It claims at least $50,000 in damages.
That seems low.
That seems super low.
This woman needs to. This is 5 years old, but boy, I hope she got more than that.
Yeah. I mean, a full thickness laceration.
That's not good.
No.
That's not something you just bounce back from.
Yeah, no. It's not.
Jesus
I mean, it's making the last story seem like a little bit like a lady. I mean,
how much was that lady asking for? Goofy lady?
Let me.
Like millions?
Does it say? It's a jury trial. So what I'm guessing, it doesn't actually specify numbers. Let me And I'm going to guess that if they don't say it in that one, it's probably not available information.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Let me just do a quick looky-loo. Nope.
I mean, as you do that, 50,000, like that probably doesn't cover the hospital stay.
It certainly wouldn't for me. So it does seem like they're not, this is not a money grab. Although I would bet if this is a jury trial, that pain and suffering and emotional distress would be significant. Maybe far surpassing the 50,000 that they're claiming. It does say the suit claims at least $50,000 in damages.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Walt Disney World did not respond to a request for comment on
really?
Right. Go figure. On the Humunga Kowabunga water slide.
It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate name.
I think we need to start referring to a full thickness laceration as a Humunga Kowabunga at this point, Kat. Whew, because I think that's accurate. I think it is.
It works.
On the Humunga Kowabunga water slide, riders who do not use a raft or a tube can approach a speed of 40 miles per hour, according to the complaint.
Okay.
That's significant. Quote.
That's really, sorry, can you read that one more time?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks.
On the Humunga Kowabunga water slide, riders who do not use a raft or tube can approach a speed of 40 miles per hour, according to the complaint.
That's insane.
It truly is. It truly, truly is.
So I have questions, but finish because you might address them.
Okay. Brace yourself for the ride of your life as you race down Mount Mayday at a 60-degree angle, Disney's website says.
Christ.
You won't know what's coming as you zoom 214 feet downhill in the dark.
Oh, no.
By the way, Kat, did
God.
I mention that this is in the dark, so you have
That's
no
so
idea
fucked.
what's about to happen to you?
It's completely fucked.
Yeah. You won't know what's coming as you zoom 214 feet downhill in the dark and spray your way to a surprise ending.
Oh, boy.
I mean, she was surprised.
I'm going to say, John, she was very surprised.
Very surprised. And Kat, not a pleasant surprise.
No.
I think it's fair for me to say.
I think you're right.
The park's safety policies prohibit guests from wearing shoes, flotation devices, goggles, or swim masks on the ride. Which makes sense. Those things
fine.
could end up hurting you at 40 miles an hour, I'm thinking.
I don't got a problem with that.
Yeah. Before sliding down, riders are instructed to cross their ankles in order to lessen the risk of injury. Yet park guests are not informed of that injury risk, the suit claims. So they say, just cross your legs. You're like, why should I cross my legs? Just trust me. Just do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be glad you did.
Yeah.
McGinnis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
McGinnis began the ride in the recommended position, she says. But as she went through the slide, her body lifted up and became airborne, the suit claims, which increased the likelihood of her legs becoming uncrossed. Because sure, if you suddenly find yourself in free fall and you're not even touching anything, you're very likely to try to put your legs out to try to, connect with something to control your descent.
You're shooting down a dark tube at a 60-degree angle.
214 feet.
Shit happens, man. Oh boy, I've somehow uncrossed my feet.
You're going to regret that.
Well, I'm surprised there aren't more injuries on this particular Kowabunga, Humunga, whatever the fuck it's called.
I am also surprised. I mean, it's how did this just happen? How long has this ride been around? I feel like it's been around a while. I feel like I've heard about it.
Shocking.
Yeah, absolutely. So afterward, her impact into the standing water at the bottom of the slide caused her swimsuit to, quote, be painfully forced between her legs and for water to be violently forced inside her, the suit states. I'm not making a joke about that.
I'm horrified.
Yeah. As well, we all should be. The force of the water can push loose garments into a person's anatomy, an event known as a wedgie. I I would argue
This is not a wedgie.
This is not a wedgie. This
No.
is not a wedgie. I mean, I've known people who've gotten, let's call it an atomic wedgie, whereby the entire weight of their body is suspended from their underwear.
Sure.
Most of the, I mean, these are people who weigh less normally because they are younger, but not always. But even then, I've never heard of such a thing as it actually being forced up inside and a full thickness laceration.
No, John, I haven't heard of that either.
No. And I don't think we're alone. If you have heard of that, send us an email at mymistakepodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear all about it.
This is like if someone... so you can relate to this, John. I'm going to try to make this relatable to you.
All right. Thank you.
Let's say that you were going to have an enema. All right?
Let's say it.
You're going to flush some stuff out. Mm-hmm. And instead of however they normally do it, they shoved a fire hose up your rectum.
I don't like this story anymore.
Nope, not done.
Oh,
they connected it to a fire hose, like a fire hydrant outside. Okay.
Okay.
And
I'm still not liking it. Just so you
hold
know.
on. You're
Just
gonna
an
maybe
update.
you might change your mind.
Okay. Oh, something good coming.
And then instantly they turn on the fire hydrant and it.
Yeah. No.
Hold on. And it shoots at full force up your rectum. I think that's what this is like. Yeah.
Nearly killed him.
I think that's what this is like.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much exactly what it's like, except that it's not just the butthole. It is also...
There's a lot of other
vajayjay
stuff.
is involved here.
And I was trying to make it relatable to you and our the members of our audience who don't have vaginas.
Okay.
But there's a lot of stuff up there, John. It's really kind of sensitive up in
yeah.
there. And
No,
I'm getting mad thinking about it.
I bet you are. I mean, well, and here's the thing. Dudes do this. Our stuff is on the outside. Like it's even more vulnerable.
Sure.
How has no dude sued them for having smashed testicles at this point?
Yeah, these are all great questions.
I mean, they are. Well, we've got one more paragraph, and I'm afraid, but I'm going to read it.
I'm going to get mad, I think.
Okay. Actually, okay. So it's actually finishing the same paragraph. I'll start it over though. The force of the water can push loose garments into a person's anatomy, an event known as a wedgie, and we contest that, but I'll go on. The lawsuit claims because of a woman's anatomy, the risk of a painful wedgie is more common and more serious than it is for a man. Again, I don't know that that's true.
John,
it's bad either way.
Perforated through her into her stomach. Like that's bad.
Her abdominal wall. Yeah.
Sure. That's bad.
Super bad. It's super bad.
It's super bad.
But is the claim here that men are not as at risk for this because our crushed testicles will block the clothing from going further up into our anatomy?
Yes.
Is that okay? Fair enough then. Great. It's more common and more serious than it is for men.
Some things hurt women more, John. I know men are like, if you think childbirth is bad, wait till you have to pass a kidney stone.
I would never say that.
Well, plenty of people do, and it gets
I've
me
heard
hot,
them say.
John. It gets me spicy.
I bet.
I'm getting spicy, John.
Uh-oh. Quick. Go off.
I'm getting
chuck that nana.
Feisty
spicy.
Huge, humunga cowabunga way. All right, I'm okay. I'm back. I'm sorry.
I'm never gonna hear those two words the same again.
I hope you don't.
All right, so the last sentence, Kat, is McGinnis's lawyers did not respond to a request for comment.
Okay.
So
this was in 2019.
This did occur in 2019, yes, and I believe the lawsuit was filed in 2022.
Can we? 2022. Can we find a follow up? Can we get some answers here? Did this woman get some sort of retribution?
We can absolutely. We're going to be following this story. Let me just see if there is anything. I mean, this is pretty recent. The story that I just read is from. Actually, that's from October 5th, 2023. So let me see here. Though.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Unfortunately, Kat, there's nothing. There's nothing present that is new that we can find. So I'm going to definitely start a Google alert,
please,
for this story, and we will keep tabs on it because
I appreciate that.
Humunga Kowabunga, right? Forget about it.
Must be stopped.
It must
It's a
be
menace.
stopped. It is a menace. Oh, my gosh.
Goodness gracious.
It's enough to make you not want to go to a theme park, I guess.
Yeah, especially fucking water slide, water park. Those places. I mean, honestly, they're just death zones. They're death zones.
For so many reasons, besides the risk of injury, there's also the fact that there's this is water that all these disgusting, filthy people are in. And no matter how much they filter it or the chemicals alone that they put in it to keep it from infecting you with bacteria can end up burning your skin.
Sure. And people are peeing all day in there. That's
all day.
Nothing but pee.
It's mostly pee.
It's mostly pee, John.
Yeah, there's a whole South Park episode. Or it's like a special where they it's the streaming wars, and it's pretty hilarious.
Amazing
how it's all tied together. But they determine that it is mostly pee.
Well, I believe it. If South Park said it.
Yep.
Well, I have something that's ripped from the headlines, John.
Ooh, give it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not long ago, there was an eclipse.
Oh yes, there was.
There was eclipse fever. Everybody was going crazy about the eclipse.
Much like COVID, I never caught it.
Oh, I'm sorry about the eclipse thing, not the COVID thing.
Not the COVID. Yeah, I'm happy about the COVID not catching part of it.
That's really good.
With words in an order.
Well, here in LA, I think they said that we had 40% coverage or something, but there were people in, what do they call that? Katie at home is listening and she's yelling at at her phone because I don't remember the name. What is it? When it's completely covered.
Oh, totality.
No, totality. So there were people in the totality who were lucky enough to just be minding their own business, didn't have to go anywhere. And all of a sudden it's fucking dark. Crazy.
Yeah, the path
Amazing.
of totality.
Sure. And, people want to see it. They want to see what it looks like when the moon crosses in front of the sun.
Right.
And you got to wear these special glasses. They tell you, don't look at the sun
right.
for more than a couple seconds. You could get seriously injured, like permanent eye damage is what they say.
Unless you're Donald Trump, and then you should go right ahead and stare directly.
Absolutely. That's true.
Yep.
So, John, the eclipse was on on the 8th? Let's see. I'm clearly very prepared for this story. The eclipse was on total eclipse of the sun.
Of the story.
It was on April 8th. So this was on Monday the 8th. Okay.
Right. And we are recording on April 15th, tax day.
We are,
so this is exactly 1 week ago.
It was a week ago. God, it feels like so much longer. It was a week ago. And then on the 11th, 2 days later, this article was released.
Okay.
To our good friends over at foxnews.com.
Are they our good friends?
Shout out.
Okay.
Not really. This is in their health section. It's the name of the article is Eye Injuries After Solar Eclipse Surge Following Phenomenon. Doctors and eye specialists have been warning the public for days not to look directly at the sun.
Right.
John, immediately after Monday's solar eclipse, the number of people searching Google for eye-related injuries jumped, while one doctor in New York City says she treated a surge of patients with eye pain. Dr. Janet Nejawat, let's go with, said, I had several patients come in panicking, saying, I don't want to go blind.
Well, then you should not have looked at the sun.
The doctor says, I couldn't believe it. People actually looked at the eclipse without protection. Article goes on to say, doctors and eye specialists have been warning the public for days. Do not look directly at the sun, but apparently some did not heed the advice. John, as you probably know, looking at the sun without protective equipment such as solar eclipse glasses can harm vision and can lead to serious and permanent damage. This doctor says the sun's rays can burn the retina and damage the macula, the part of the retina at the back of the eye that is responsible for central vision. Google searches for hurt eyes and...
The look on your face is just leading right into this. I can't wait.
Why do my eyes hurt after the eclipse? Rose after the moon and sun aligned on Monday. In terms of national figures, a CDC spokesperson told Fox News Digital that the National Center for Health Statistics does not have any data on eye damage following the eclipse. I would add on that, yet.
Yet. Oh, yeah. There's going to be some data. I mean, trust me.
This doctor in New York says she treated up to 8 patients who came into the City MD she works out of near Madison Square Garden in Midtown Manhattan. So basically a bunch of tourists, a bunch of dumb tourists burned their eyes out in Madison Square Garden, around that area. One patient looking at the sun either directly or through his phone for John about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Now,
That's a long
I'm curious.
time.
When we say looking at it through the phone,
I don't know.
I'm assuming it's the camera is on and the phone is blocking the thing. Because that shouldn't... The phone is not capable of giving you the problem that the sun itself is.
Thankfully, no.
Yeah. Because I even attempted to see what was going on by looking down at my phone with the phone set to be in selfie mode. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
And even then I was like, I'm only going to look for a couple seconds here, and I couldn't see anything anyway. So, that did not pay off for me. But yeah, I mean, do you know Dune? Do you know the story of Dune, the movie Dune? Did you see? No?
I know of it.
Okay. Well, then good. This is going to be a revelation to you.
Okay.
And to anybody else. And this is from Dune Part 1. So if you haven't seen Dune Part 1, it's your own fault. It's not a spoiler because this book was written in the late 60s. But
that's fair.
Yeah. There's a thing in Dune called the Gom Jabbar. Okay? And it is a needle worn on the finger of a Bene Gesserit nun or witch, depending on who's telling the story.
Sure.
And the way this works is they have a box, and they make you put your hand in the box, and they tell you you're going to start feeling an itch, and then it moves from an itch to a sting, and then it moves to absolutely almost unbearable pain. The whole time that your hand is in the box, they're holding this needle to your neck, and they tell you if you pull your hand out of the box, then they will kill you with the needle. So the purpose of this test of the Gom Jabbar is to see whether you are a human being or an animal, because a human being, according to this line of thinking, would be able to withstand any amount of pain if it meant if making the pain cease would mean that they're going to die. So they're okay. Because it measures sentience, that you're like, I understand that I'm going to die if I do something to stop this pain. Now, one of the things that's interesting about it in the time that it's mentioned in the book is that Paul Atreides, the person who is subjected to this test, is not told that the box works through nerve induction. It's only causing pain. He doesn't know that his hand isn't actually being burned and flayed from, the skin flayed from the bones of his hand. They tell him after, but the whole point is that it measures your humanity. And so I think that the eclipse is sort of a Gom Jabbar for our times, in that it's like, if you're actually a sentient being, there's no way that you haven't heard that you're not supposed to look directly at this thing. But if you just absolutely have to look at it, then that means you're not in control of your urges to the degree that we could call you a human being. You are an animal. And maybe an insult to animals. So this was a long way to come around to the point of, if you did this, I'm sorry, but you're dumb. I'm sorry you're dumb, but it doesn't change the fact that you're dumb.
No, you're definitely dumb. So yeah, John, I think I thought everybody knew that you had to wear special glasses or some sort of special, protective lens of some kind between you and what you're looking at when looking at the eclipse. And you could get, people were giving out solar eclipse glasses. Actually, T-Mobile, you see that? Maybe you can see it. There's a little pink bag in there. T-Mobile gives I mentioned this on my other podcast. Every Tuesday, they give out something free if you're a customer of T-Mobile. And a couple weeks ago, they gave out solar eclipse glasses.
That's awesome.
It's so great. And my wife and I, Leah, who I'm married to, we took our glasses outside and we watched the eclipse, and it was all great. We felt fine. We didn't have any kind of eye issues after that. Unfortunately, John, some people thinking they were doing something good and giving out free glasses. For example, there's this library in Morristown. Let's see, Morristown, New Jersey.
Okay.
Morristown Library may have given out counterfeit eclipse glasses, John.
I was going to mention something that I had heard about counterfeit eclipse glasses, but they may have.
They may have, John. Now,
okay, these people then, if you wore counterfeit eclipse glasses, then I'm not going to call you dumb. You didn't know.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. You tried to do the right thing, right?
You did, and so the picture that they've chosen to use with this article, it's not from the actual library itself, but it's a bunch of people outside staring up at, I'm guessing, the sun, and they all have these, they almost look like 3D glasses, the old school 3D glasses, but I'm guessing they're solar eclipse glasses, and it's mostly kids. So you would assume that you go to a library, kids go to libraries, you're giving out these glasses to kids, they're excited. And they were doomed, John. These poor kids' eyes got burned right out. But listen,
man.
it's it's okay because the library apologized profusely. So, and they discouraged people from using the glasses they distributed. Now, John, this article came out on Monday the 8th at 3:25 Eastern. At the moment of the eclipse, this article was released, telling people, hey, don't look at those glasses. Don't use those glasses.
Wow. So they found out at least before the eclipse actually happened that these were counterfeit glasses.
Yeah.
I hope that it was communicated to more than just the organ of journalism that was the Morristown, New Jersey newspaper or whatever.
So yeah, according to this article, the library gave away glasses in the days leading up to the celestial event. Hours before the total solar eclipse reached the region, the library recognized the error and informed the public. Hours, John.
I'm very curious who would create counterfeit glasses and for what reason? Like, were they trying to profit from this and just didn't have any problem with the fact that people were going to be maybe blinded?
Well, that's a good question. The library did say they were purchased from Walmart.com.
Okay.
And they were manufactured by Medical King. And they may be counterfeit.
Okay. So, hey, Medical King. I think it's time we dethroned you.
I think it is. So, golly, I hope everybody out there in Morristown, New Jersey, I hope you're seeing okay. I hope you're not permanently damaged because of this.
Yeah, I hope so too. And that your children are not
It's upsetting.
permanently damaged. It is.
Yes.
It's awful.
So fucked. It's fucked. It's fucked.
It is. That is the appropriate word for that. It is fucked.
Yes.
I mean, it's maybe even worse than Humunga Kowabunga, which is not fun. But I'd rather have a Humunga Kowabunga than be blind, I think. I think if I given that choice. How about you, Kat?
Too.
Yeah, but I'd rather neither.
That's a tough choice. Me too. I say no. I say none.
Yep. I prefer none. Whew. Yeah. This has been, I was going to say a roller coaster ride, but maybe a water slide ride.
No. Too soon. Too soon, John.
Too soon. Okay, I'm sorry.
Too soon.
What do you think? Have we entertained enough? Are we not entertaining?
I think we've entertained enough. I think we've done our jobs here tonight. I think
so too.
We fulfilled our obligations.
These jobs that we pay for the privilege of having.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That is great.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And listen, if you're listening, if you're a listener and you have either been injured on a water slide or your eyes got burned out from the sun, why don't you drop us an email at mymistakepodcast@gmail.com. That would be, we'd be interested to hear your story.
We would. Absolutely. And hey, while you're doing things related to the My Mistake podcast, we haven't mentioned this in a while, but if you give us a 5-star rating on the app of your choice, and maybe even post a little review that's nice, that helps us a lot. We don't have commercials on this podcast. We don't, currently monetize in any way, and that's mostly because we like to just be free and do what we want to do. But it would be really great if you could spread the void, as it were. Give us a review. Give us 5 stars.
That'd be great. We'd appreciate it.
We would.
And we'll read it. We're definitely going to read it on air.
Oh my gosh. Like, fastest way to get something read on the My Mistake podcast is to write it in a good review. Oh, who am I kidding? We would read bad reviews too.
That's true. I mean, just send us an email. We'll read that too. But you should send us, you should review us. That would be great. That's our preference. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Please do. Awesome. Well, Kat, fuck my pants.
What? What did you say?
I said, fuck my pants.
Oh, I thought you said.
Did you think I said fuck my pants?
I wasn't sure because it sounded like Flo from Alice. So I thought it was like, is he saying
kiss my grits?
Is he saying kiss my grits? Kiss my grits.
Kiss my grits. No, I was going back to the character I was at the beginning, Kat, where we were talking about the guy who sounds like the guy from S-Town. Okay.
I think his name's John. Oh, John. Okay, great. I'm so sorry.
So is my name.
Fuck my pants.
Fuck my pants. Yeah.
No.
It's the goat voice, and I love it so much. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. When I picture a goat, it's better.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So you're saying you'd rather hear it from a goat than from me. I see how it is.
Well, I mean, you're doing it's a goat impersonation.
It is. But I like that it's me doing the goat impersonation. I would have thought you would have appreciated that.
All right. Well, I guess I'm sorry.
Yes, Kat. That's the correct response. And then my response to your response is, don't be sorry. Be better.
Be better. Yeah.
I learned that. I learned that from you.
You did, and you just threw it back at me, and I didn't like it.
Bam.